Time for My Boat.
For handling heavy ground tackle or pure convenience, nothing beats an electric windlass. But a basic windlass package only comes with a helm-mounted rocker switch for letting out and retrieving the rode. But the view from the helm to where the anchor really is can be somewhat limited, and more than likely you're going to be preoccupied maneuvering the boat. So watching for your mate's hand signals and operating the windlass can be a real distraction. So this week on My Boat, we'll show you how to install a set of foot pedals so your mate can operate the windlass from out on the deck with a full view of the operation.
Before getting started, remember to trip the fuse to cut the power to the windlass. The first step in installing the pedals is to lay out on the deck, or in this case a hatch, where to install the pedals using the template supplied in the kit. Measure first, then tape the templates in place, and measure again for perfect alignment. With the templates in place, the holes for the mounting screws are drilled into each foot pedal pattern. Check that you have selected the correct diameter hole saw against the shaft on the pedal. When you begin to drill the guide hole, ensure that the drill is aligned perpendicular to the deck. As the saw first contacts the gel coat, switch the drill to reverse to ensure a smooth chip-free cut into the gel coat. Then back to forward to finish drilling the hole. When both are done, the template can be removed. To ensure that water doesn't penetrate the core of the deck or hatch, I mixed up a small amount of epoxy, first carefully measuring the ratio of resin and catalyst, then let it kick for 10 minutes. Using a foam brush, I generously coated both cores from either side of the hatch and then allowed the fast cure epoxy to set. With the epoxy cured, the wiring was fed through the hole for both foot pedals. Before setting the pedals in place, both the holes in the mounting screw holes were coated with marine-grade silicone and the pedals set in place. The last step here was to secure the foot pedals to the deck with stainless screws. With the foot pedals installed, the final task is to install the wiring by splicing the leads from the pedals into the control wires from the helm to the solenoid. To accomplish this, I first needed to drill an access hole through to the anchor locker for the wiring. The wires were fed through in pairs from each pedal and draped to the side to identify left and right. Wiring up the foot controls is quite straightforward. If you don't have your original windlass handbook with wiring diagrams, you can probably find one online. The windlass control box is just a solenoid with power feed wiring, the heavy cables, and control wires, the small gauge wires. The task at hand is to tap into the control wires. Step 1 here is to disconnect the red, blue, and white control wires to connect into them. Next, the wires from the foot pedals are shortened to the required length, then stripped. A piggyback connector was crimped on one wire, then the original white control wire for the up pedal was connected. The same process was repeated for the left or down pedal, this time connecting the blue control wire. Then both pairs of wires were connected to the correct terminals on the control solenoid. Next, the positive power wire was disconnected from the control, the old ring connector cut off, and the wire stripped. The two power wires for the foot pedals were then combined with the solenoid control's power lead, and a new ring connector was crimped on. Remember, when crimping on connectors, do it as hard as you can for a secure and lasting connection. Finally, the power leads were connected to the control solenoid. Quick ties were used to secure the wiring, then liquid electrical tape was applied to waterproof the connections. The last task was to protect the wiring from the pedals in the locker with split looming, and the project was finished.
Well, there you have it. With just a few hours' labor, been able to solve a problem that's going to make anchoring a lot easier for both the captain and the crew.